The No Fate channel, checking in from the hot tub time machine. Jonathan here, and we're going back in time 3 weeks to the Arnold Classic to review Rogue Fitness's newest, best, hottest release that they've had in over a year.
Forever.
And we've got a whole lot more on this home gym weekend review. Arnold Classic 2024, an event that has really exploded over the previous 6 or 7 years to encompass so much stuff. But the biggest news to come out of the Arnold, at least for the home gym community, has to be Rogue Fitness finally dropping the hammer. Rogue Fitness showcasing their brand new, just released functional trainer. This is basically a direct competitor with Rep Fitness's Aries. Before I sway you with my thoughts, I want your opinion in the comments below. Did Rogue Fitness take too long in simply dropping this functional trainer, or is it better late than never? I know some people believe if you're not first, you're last. Now, a quick glance, a lot of people are going to think this is basically the Aries. This is just a real copy of what Rep Fitness has put out a couple years ago. Keep in mind, if you remember, they put out the Aries and the Athena almost back to back, but it's not exactly the same. Now, since Rep Fitness has put out the Athena and the Aries, we've seen a number of companies kind of borrow from them. This is Vesta Fitness with their Athena system, I should say Pro Series Ultimate Half Rack. We see Get RX with their version as well. And Rogue Fitness had been silent for quite some time, but they released this. It is not the same in that the Rep Fitness Athena is a dual stack system, allowing basically for that 2-to-1 ratio of the functional trainer, but this system is a 1-to-1 system for the lat pull down, but they have some specialized, supposedly going to be patented mechanism creating not only a 1-to-1 system on the lat pull down, however, a 2-to-1 ratio on the functional trainer itself. They even go a little bit further by throwing a little salt in the wound, mentioning that this is a patent pending configuration, achieving a 2-to-1 ratio for the functional trainer, a 1-to-1 for the lat pull down and low row, using a single weight source, available as a weight stack or plate loaded trolley. All existing similar products on the market require 2 weight sources to get this out. Eliminates the need to purchase 2 300-pound weight stacks, so that is going to be a big factor when it comes down to price. Let's go over some of the stats. Made in the USA, that's going to matter for some people, and that is massive. Now, it will come in various heights and colors, and one thing that's a standout, at least over the Aries, if you look here closely, you can see that the Aries requires a specialized handle. It's got 2 clips here because they use a dual weight stack, whereas, as I previously mentioned, Rogue has that single clip. So all of the typical lat pull down equipment that you love, yep, that's going to work. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting, at least from the photos, was the foot plate. The foot plate seems extremely small, and Flex Marks the Spot, who has a YouTube channel that's fantastic, did make mention that since they did drop this extremely late to the market as far as the rest of the competition, it's surprising that they didn't affix the placement of that low row, because the biggest complaint with the Aries is that the low row is rather low to the ground, and if you're a bigger individual, you're really pulling from an extremely low angle. Now, I have Rep Fitness's lat pull down, selectorized lat pull down system for the power rack, and that is a low system in terms of where you're pulling from. But for me, I'm fairly thin. It doesn't necessarily bother me. But it's still, if it could be up 5 or 6 inches, I'd probably prefer it. Now, is Rogue Fitness coming to the party a day late and $1 short? I happen to think so in this case, because unfortunately, most people, when you go out and make a massive purchase like an Aries or an Athena, you're done. You're done. You're not going to be trying to replace that product anytime soon. The good thing for Rogue is that they are massive and people want to get that Rogue name. They want to get something made in the USA. And it seems like it is an improved design because it's a single weight stack. So the price points should be relatively competitive if you try to compare apples to apples. As you can imagine, when it's USA made, it tends to be a higher price point. But because they don't have to have a dual stack system, hopefully they should be able to bring that price point at least within margin. Keep in mind, when you're dropping a few grand on a piece of equipment for your home gym, going an extra $500 or $700 more really is a drop in the bucket in today's day and age of inflation, unfortunately. I need to thank all of you for using my affiliate links. When you use those links, which happen to be in the description of today's video, you not only help support the channel, you help keep the bubbles going in the jacuzzi. When you use those links, let me know, because when you scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch yours in a non-creepy way. And I'm gonna send you a thank you gift as a small token of my appreciation. With all of the waves that Rogue Fitness has been making, where's Rep Fitness? Hell. You know they haven't been quiet. They've got that machine that just pumps out new releases every few months. And that machine has not slowed down since 2021. And probably the biggest news is that they're going to be entering the cardio equipment market. Yeah, they don't really have any cardio pieces of equipment that they sell, but it looks as though they're making not only an assault bike and a free runner, they're also going to be having a ski erg as well. These are prototypes that they unveiled, I believe, in California recently. So hopefully the final version is going to be even better, but it looks as though they're going to be entering the market. Now, I don't know if the cardio market is oversaturated. It probably is, but from a consumer perspective, the more people in the market, the more options I have, and hopefully the lower the prices will be as companies try to grab your money. If that was all we had to talk about for Rep Fitness, that would be plenty. But wait, there's more. They actually teased out, which they love to do on their website, new products on top of their cardio equipment. They're going to be adding a new version of the Arcadia, and I really think they're going to be doing away with their FT5000 shortly, and boom, the Arcadia Max is going to be released, which is going to be taller, wider, and have supposedly the capability of going up to a 270-pound stack, which is crazy. They put this Adonis system on their website, and usually this means it's going to be released shortly. I think they're getting all of the stuff ironed out to finally drop the pre-release on it so people can actually see what the price tag is and pick it up for themselves. I think that one's going to be a hot one, and people are going to be really excited about it, especially because of all of the customization.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
When it comes to the home gym community, our multiverse, we don't have much controversy. Most people are extremely cool. A lot of people just have thick skin and can take a joke, but every once in a while, something comes along that stinks worse than an Arnold Classic bathroom. And this week, we did have controversy in the form of a cease and desist order. Now, Matt Pendergraph, if you're not familiar with him, he does YouTube home gym equipment reviews, but he's a professional photographer. He's not like you and me taking photos on our phone. He actually has a degree in photography, makes some fantastic shots, both video and photos. He had posted a DIY video. It wasn't even his video. It was like a repost of a post showing people how to utilize a specific piece of equipment in order to basically get more out of their power rack by turning it into like a faux pulley system. And you could do a whole bunch of different like Fugazi exercises. It's that whole DIY community. All he did was post it, talk about it a little bit, give his thoughts. That's it. Well, he got a cease and desist order out of the blue from a company that we're not going to name because I'm not bulletproof. I don't have my body armor on. He's not making money off of this post. He's not actually creating the post itself. And by no means is he bashing the company that sent the cease and desist order because Matt's not bulletproof either. But now, let's take a step back and take a look from this company's point of view. I fully understand that there's tons of intellectual property theft, right? IP theft, trademark theft when it comes to every industry. And I understand that companies want to protect that intellectual property because they put so much time up front to develop new, exciting pieces of equipment. We get that. We've seen that with Rogue. They've got a ton of patents and they use them. They make sure that if you're even coming close to any of their patents, they're going to go after you. I think one time they sent a cease and desist order to Hero Barbell for like the most mundane thing ever. For the life of me, and I mean honestly, the life of me, I don't know what this company was thinking. I mean, they just must have had a complete brain fart, because there was no way that they were having any type of negative impact financially from what Matt had reposted. And I actually went on Garage Gym Life's podcast and we talked about this briefly. And the reality is, the truth is, there's a massive DIY community out there in the home gym world. People that are men's men. They want to put something together with their bare hands and they don't want to pay for it and have it just arrive all shiny and new. But there is no way that the DIY community was going to buy what this other company that sent the cease and desist order is selling, okay? Because their products are very high-end products, whether you like them or not. And if you're a DIYer, if you're looking for a workaround, you're not dropping $1,000+ on their products. Now, I don't know if this other company thinks that they're just simply bulletproof or simply woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but there was absolutely no reason to send Matt a cease and desist. This other company simply went overboard and it cost them in the form of negative publicity. And the other big takeaway from the Arnold this year has to be the Rogue Strongman. Now, Rogue Fitness does an invitational strongman competition every year at the Arnold, and guess what? It's fantastic. But what I really want to hone in on is the fact that if you want to get in the pool, you're gonna get wet. And I want to show you some of the competitors. This is the strong women that were invited. And I will tell you straight away, no shame on them. They're amazing athletes and competitors. But if you take a close look here, I think you're gonna realize that if you want to be a top shelf competitor in any fitness industry, you're gonna have to get on that Mexican creatine, okay? They are on all of the Mexican creatine, it would seem. It's hard to deny, and unfortunately, the reason I'm pointing this out is that so many people, especially young men, they go online, they see these fit influencers, they think like, oh man, I should be deadlifting 800 pounds like that. And the reality is, you're gonna have to do some rough trade to get where these individuals, where these ladies are at.
I like a gal could help you move a couch.
The Rogue Elephant Bar Deadlift Competition, one of the many events that they host in order to win the overall. Well, the winner of this deadlifted 1,006 pounds. That's not a typo, not a typo. And if you're not familiar with Thor, he's Icelandic. He's a strongman competitor, but mainly known for his work as the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Now, he's coming up shortly. Wait for it. Less than a year ago, 10 months ago, almost to the day, this monster of a man attempted to set a record bench pressing 556 pounds, and his pec tore. You will actually hear it. Within 10 months, he went from having an absolute massive surgery that people would take a year plus, if not more, to come back to being at the top of the strongman world. And it is clear that he was doing as much Mexican creatine as he could find to get back in true form. I mean, if I sprain my ankle, I'm probably out for like 6 months before I get back to where I was before, if I can even get back to where I was after such an injury. Finally, we have surpassed 19,000 YouTube subscribers, and we are heading on to the 20,000 mark. Now, with this said, keep in mind, many YouTube channels get 19,000 subscribers in a day. Many of them even get it in a year, but you gotta know that I am doing this by sheer force of will. There's no pretty young thing in front of the camera. There's no massive production studio. There's no like hashtag trending topics that I cover. I am just the little engine that could. I just keep on trucking, and I've been doing this for a number of years, and when I look back, it's pretty rough on how many years I've done it and how far I have not come. But I am very grateful for all of you who hit the subscribe button, who watch the videos, who share those videos. And I put out a poll to see what you wanted for the 20,000 subscriber mark. We're coming on it fast, hopefully faster than slower. And I want to give back as much as I can. I put a poll up on the YouTube channel and bam, most of you want that home gym tour. Well, you can rest easy because it's in the works. I finally pulled the Band-Aid off and I have started working on the home gym tour. So I wanted to cover a few videos that just stood out as interesting and give you my takeaway on them. And that is number one, Carp's Gym. Now, if you're not familiar with this man, he is doing it. He's probably the most underrated, underappreciated YouTube home gym dude out there. And I love this man. He is just awesome. So in this video, I'm going to I'm going to link it in the description below because I want you to watch the whole thing. He actually takes you through buying something off of Facebook Marketplace. And for many people, I know, especially YouTubers, they're just trying to sell the new piece of equipment that's on the market today. They're not telling people to kind of go to Facebook Marketplace, but Facebook Marketplace is an amazing place right now because it is saturated with home gym equipment and there are many deals to go out there, especially, yeah, man, Carp dropping some of these gems in here. You got to watch this video. I don't want you to watch, you got to watch this video. He has some really good stuff in here. Of course, you got to get the drive-through, but he takes you through him buying a strongman yoke. And frankly, this is important because this is a great way to fill up your home gym and save a boatload of money, especially on stuff that it doesn't have any moving parts. It's really nothing to break. Obviously, you might get some scratches and some rust, but from a functional standpoint, as good as the day it arrived in the previous owner's gym. If you haven't checked out Carp's Gym, definitely give him a look. He's putting out some fun and interesting videos. And as you can see, 7 minutes and 42 seconds. He doesn't make these videos overly long. So Justin Medeiros is a CrossFit athlete sponsored by Rogue. And as you can imagine, his home gym is decked out in Rogue equipment. But it's not your typical home gym, garage gym. It is a literal complex. It is massive. And there's a few takeaways from this video. Really good. I'll link it in the description for you to watch the whole thing. The fact that there's not crazy equipment in here. Even the dumbbells are just ergonomically handled dumbbells. They're not fully knurled urethane dumbbells. I think the most outlandish thing in here is probably the belt squat that he's got over here. That, you know, some of the more customization with his name that I'm sure Rogue did because he's a sponsored athlete. But just even the bars are your basic bars, nothing crazy, not clean, bunch of chalk on them, and it's just meat and potatoes to get your workout in. Now, obviously, he's a professional athlete. It's a ton of space and it is a ton of equipment. But again, nothing here is screaming like crazy over the top. So often when it comes to home gym equipment, and frankly, many different industries as well, we see companies put out fantastic products, amazing top shelf products. And what do? Nothing. They just leave it there year over year, expecting people to just buy it, even though they haven't taken any extra steps to improve it. And eventually, time passes them by, and so does the competition. Prime example, Elite FTS. They put out this American cambered neutral girth bar years ago, and it was beloved. People just raved about it. But it's been so long since they've done anything to this. Now, they haven't added knurling. They haven't added any different type of coatings, nothing special. So they went from having one of the best bars, one of the premier bars on the market that was ahead of its time, that people loved and coveted, to a product that has just been passed by many, many companies, even Titan Fitness of all companies. So what I want to do is highlight a company that's putting out improved products. This is Freak Athlete. I recently reviewed their Nordic Hyper GHD. Well, what did they do since my review? They actually went ahead and upgraded their product, and they upgraded their entire website. Their whole website, if you can look closely, is just improved in terms of the look, in terms of the user interface. Really overhauled this website. And I didn't think their previous website was bad, and by no means am I a web expert, but I do have a lot of criticism when it comes to a lot of companies' websites, just because the user interface is usually wonky. They did a great job overhauling this. I don't know how much they paid, but I'm sure it was worth every penny. So what did they fix on this, right? So one of the things, as you can see, are these colored handles. Before, all the handles were basically the same color, and it was confusing, especially when you first started utilizing this. Now they fixed that. They also, I don't think I can show it quickly in the photos, they made this bar right here, this fold out step, has the ability apparently to tuck away now, so that it is out of sight, out of mind. Now, many companies, when they did this, would simply put out, call it a version 2. They wouldn't actually fix it without actually call it a version 2 in order to market it, to sell it, to push it on people. And they didn't do that. Freak Athlete just said, hey, we're going to make it better. We're not going to charge any extra. We're not going to call it a different version. Bob's your uncle. If you made it this far in the video, you, my friend, are an absolute legend. And I wanted to give you a bit of the behind the scenes with regards to Home Gym Con 2024. I mentioned in previous videos that I was trying to get out there, but I needed to get a sponsor, and the final nail in the coffin occurred. The final company that I hoped might say yes just said they didn't have it in their budget, and I totally understand. Even though I don't owe it to any of you, I do know that many of you are using my affiliate links, and you want to know, hey, where is that money going? How are you improving the channel? So when I did the math, it was going to cost me right around $2,000 to get out to French Lick, Indiana, spend 4 days total getting out and coming back, and of course enjoying Home Gym Con, making content. And when I came back, I was going to have about 4, maybe 5 videos that I needed to edit. And at that price point, it just wasn't going to be worth it to me, because I was going to have to take time away from my family, time away from my job. And when I came back, I was going to have a boatload of work. Now, many people watching this think, hey, having 5 videos to edit is going to be fantastic. That's just great content. But for me, I don't have an editor. I edit my own videos, and they do take far longer than they should, because by no means am I a good editor by any stretch of the imagination. Also, you need to consider that with those 5 videos, me taking the time to edit those videos pushes out, best case, a lot of the other videos that I'm trying to create, and in some cases probably would just eliminate me from making those videos altogether. So I've decided to take that Home Gym Con money and simply put it back into the channel. How? Well, number one thing I'm going to do in September when the new iPhone comes out, yep, I'm gonna pick it up. Now, most of my stuff is filmed on my current iPhone, which is gonna be over 3 years old. Hopefully, the improved iPhone will give me better video quality. Also, I am gonna be picking up in September when they drop it, the new GoPro. I happen to shoot a lot of content on my GoPro. It's just a really heavy-duty camera that can take a licking. The current one I have is, again, going to be 3 years old at the time, so it'll be nice to make that jump in quality. I am a little bit bummed about missing it, but if I couldn't get a sponsor, Lord knows I tried. Tons of companies out there have emails from me begging to be sponsored by them so that I could create content, and it just wasn't going to happen. So the best thing you can do to support the channel, besides clicking on those affiliate links, is simply to watch another video. And if you made it this far, we are officially best friends, like Rogue Fitness and Rep Fitness. Hey, we're a band of brothers. Thanks for watching, and don't save anything for that trip back.